If you want your Triumph bobber to go from looking like this to looking like this, then this is the video for you, so stay tuned and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Alright folks, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're talking about installing an Airbox delete kit. Now there are a few different Airbox delete kits on the market, but one that recently popped up on Facebook is from a guy called Scott, and he's created the Bobber Shop, and he's 3D printing covers for the wiring loom. And in the box here we've got some black pod filters with the Triumph emblem on the end of them there, some breathers with the same emblem, and the best bit, which I believe Scott designed himself, is this 3D printed cover for the wiring loom. Now, quite handily, Scott has included a little card here with a QR code on it that has some instructions on how to install this. However, the removal of the existing Airbox is not included on the instructions, so I'm going to kind of run through start to finish what we need to do to get everything off and the new stuff on. So big shout out to Scott at the Bobber Shop. If you see this, mate, thanks very much, well designed, saved me having to do it myself. So first things first, we want to pull off these side panels. Now if you haven't had these off, they literally do just pull off that easy, so much so I've actually had them fall off a couple of times. Now underneath here you've got the Airbox, that's your air filter there, and it's the same on the other side. The only real difference being on this side is that you have the OBD connector here, but you can just pull that out of the way whilst we deal with getting all of this off. So as you can see under this left hand side panel, that's your air filter there, and then we've got a little fuse box here, and there's some wires and stuff like that once we get the Airbox out we're going to have to shift around and hopefully get them all tidied up underneath the new cover. Now from what I can tell, these are all T25 Torx bolts, and this is a small 2.5mm Allen that's on the top of that cover there. I am going to pull the air filter out. I mean, there's probably no need to be doing it as part of what we're actually doing, but it's worthwhile just to pull it and actually have a wee look at it anyway. Now this bike's only got 2,000 and something miles on it, and as you can see the air filter's still spotless. Right, now I've got those covers off. I don't think you actually need to take these screws out to take that cover off. That could probably be left on. You can see now that there is a T30 Torx headed bolt there under here as well. We've also got this bracket that will need to come off that looks like it's held on with a couple of Allen headed bolts there. That'll be 2.5mm, same as the other cover. And then there is a 12mm headed bolt at the back here. This fuse holder is literally just held on a clip, so we'll pull this off, and the little fuse box at the side here has a couple of small bolts, one top and bottom, that will need to come out as well. Right, the Airbox at this point is pretty loose. There are two things still connected. There is a connector for the sensor under here, and there's a breather hose here. So with both of them unclipped, we should be able to just pull this out. Now it does feel like it's tight because you get this little bracket where this bolt goes at the back, but this bit is relatively soft, so if you give it a wee squeeze and pull it back enough, you should be able to play around with it enough to get it to come out. Now I've got this cable here which looks like it is the cable for the rear lights, which is running through this bracket and stopping me from pulling the Airbox out. So I'm just going to take off these two little bolts at the back here, which will free up that bracket, and then I'll be able to pull the box off. Right, so there we go, one Airbox out. And what did I do with the filter? Oh, there it is. I'll just stick that back in there for the time being. Right, I'm not sure if that cable normally runs through that bracket. I did fiddle around with this cable a lot when I was putting the new rear lights on when I got the bike. So I'll probably disconnect it from inside at the battery side and pull that out just so I can get that bracket off. So maybe that won't be the path that cable takes on your bike, not sure. But as you can see, that's this whole section now empty. I'll get the other side off. I'm not going to go through that step by step, it's pretty much just the same process, and then we can have a look and see what we need to do with the various cables that are hanging about. So that's this side off as well, and the only real difference is there's 2 breather pipes on this side as opposed to one on the other side. And now you can see all the way through, nice and clean. So the QR code that Scott's provided takes you to a set of instructions that tells you to remove this part of the chain guard here, because as you can see that's sitting just above what I call the dog bone of the swing arm. Everything needs to be pushed down below that, so we'll get that off, we'll get the fuse box in, we've got the OBD connector here, everything needs to be tucked into this space down here and cable tied, and then we should be able to put the cover on top. Not a word of a lie, I've spent about, I'd say, well over an hour trying to rejig this around. It's not as simple as it looks. I've gone a wee bit different to how Scott's put it in his instructions, because I decided that I wanted to put the fuse box down somewhere where I could access it. And I've got this cable tie running through at the moment. I'll come up with something better than that, but everything else is packed down. I did really try to get the fuse box in here originally where Scott had put it in his photograph. I just could not get it to secure low enough or tidy enough. If we take a look at the blanking plate itself, it's 2 halves essentially. Looks a wee bit like the Batman Batwing that's put together. But it's 2 halves, it's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle. They basically just fold over each other like that, and then there's these little cross brackets that go across the top like that. So we'll see if it fits. Now, as you can probably see, I've got the bike up on a paddock stand. That made it a wee bit easier when I was trying to tidy up the wiring. Now, these should just slot underneath this bit of the dog bone, a bit snug with that wiring harness. That's 1 half under. Should just jigsaw together. That's it. Right, I've just pulled this half off again to show you that there's actually 2 different sizes of bolts that come with it. The shorter bolt will go through there, and the longer bolt goes through the piece that's got the sort of extended jigsaw piece sticking out at the bottom. Now, maybe in me, I'm putting a little bit of Loctite on each of these. We're not talking about much, literally a midgie's ball here. Now, these don't have to be super tight, remember we're talking about a 3D printed item here. So I think that looks pretty clean and tidy in comparison to some of the other kits I've seen. Scott, you've done a good job with this, mate. So the instructions had the pod filters being fitted first, but I'm going to fit them last, obviously, because I haven't done it already. They go straight onto the throttle body, so you don't need this rubber, so this can come off. So they do come with their own Jubilee clip, but I'm not really keen on the look of these ones, so I'm going to use the original one that was on it. Now, an issue that you're going to have with these pod filters is that this bracket here gets in the way of them going on vertical, which you want because of the emblem, and also that's the bottom of the filter there, so it looks better if they're vertical rather than horizontal. It looks like it would take quite a bit of further strip down to get to the 2 bolts that are inside there that's holding the bracket on, and I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to cut this bracket off. It's just a piece of plastic. There is this plug underneath, but I'll just cable tie that up in the underside. Now, before we go sticking this pod filter on, you may remember from earlier in the video where we had a vent pipe going into one airbox and 2 vent pipes going into the other airbox, and that's because there's this T-piece here. So we're going to remove this, and we're going to stick a single filter, one of these little pod filters, in here. So I've just noticed that the diameter of this and the diameter of that it's not a great fit. I mean, I don't even need to take the clamp off there, and so I maybe need to message Scott and ask about that. The other side, the hose is a slightly smaller diameter, so I wonder what's going on there. But for now, I'm just going to wrap a wee bit of black tape around it just to Give it that wee bit extra. Now, if you remember right back at the start when we were taking the left-hand airbox off, this plug was connected into the back of it, and that's because it was connected into this sensor, which was in the back of the airbox. Now, this is your intake air temperature sensor, which I have unscrewed from the box, and obviously now have it here in my hand. So we're going to connect that back up, and I'm going to secure this to that bracket that I cut up inside here. Now, ideally this sensor is supposed to be in the airflow, which is going into your intakes. Obviously when you've got pod filters, that's not going to work. What you don't want to do is mount it somewhere that it's going to be affected by the heat coming off the block. So I'm going to mount it at the back here onto this bracket that I cut earlier, and I mean that means it's in the same vicinity as the pods and should be fine. And then last but not least is to put the pod filter on itself. Now I'm using the original clamps rather than the Jubilees that came with it, so that should just push on there, clearing that sensor. Yep. And then just tighten that up. Job's a good one. Right, I think that looks the dog's danglies, and I think we've finished just in time because the sky's just gone grey, and that probably means it's going to rain. Looks very clean, not the bike, because the bike is absolutely filthy and needs a good wash, but the actual design of that, well done Scott, good design. I might have a wee play about with the breathers in there to secure them how I like, but other than that, I think it looks brilliant. So that puts an end to this one. If this kind of thing is of use to you, or if you enjoy watching this kind of content, hit that subscribe button, hit like, drop me a follow on Instagram and TikTok, and I will catch you all on the next one.